Still don't have the intro for the show yet. I'll have to do that this weekend. Thank you all for tuning in and logging on, and welcome to Truth It in the AM. It is your boy Truth It, here to address any and all things when it's time to, and it's time to. Also with me, I have the one and the only, too real to be phony. Trooper Joe is in the building. Troop.
Hey, what's up, folks? Yes, Friday. I'm here with Truth It in the AM. Yeah, those applause are for Truth It.
Yep.
Not for me. Those are the Truth It applause. I don't get applause.
I think they applause for both of us,
There
Troop.
you go.
We went yesterday
We did.
to a Massachusetts Women of Color Coalition 2-year anniversary.
Yes, sir.
And they showed up and showed out. Being two former members of the now defunct
Defunct.
Men of Color think tank,
Buried in the ground.
didn't it make you cry a little bit inside?
Yeah, it did.
Felt a little bad.
It did. It's like, yeah. Women, go on, girls. I call you girls.
Mhm.
Go on, women. You got it going on. It's like, write it up, put it in the newspapers, put it in books, put it in magazines, and most of all, put it in your husbands and other black men's Christmas stockings so that they can get something done. You know, I felt really embarrassed standing in the back knowing that, like Will said, we were part of the Men of Color think tank, which should have been doing things, not big, wild, grandiose things for the public, but doing things. And it's defunct now. And the women are just continually going. They had a five agenda plan. They've got 3 of their things of the 5 going. They got 2 more to work on, and they added another problem to their agenda. And it's like, well, what other problem? The problem is expansion.
Yep.
They got people from Connecticut, Providence, from Rhode Island and New Hampshire and all these surrounding places of Massachusetts want to form up with them.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I was very proud of the women. They're very, 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 very powerful women. And I know women have always been powerful. They've always been the more analytic and the more thoughtful out of the race or out of the species. But I still kind of made me feel a little bit like, man, guys, really? You can't do anything except use mispronounced words and slang words and do stuff that children don't even do anymore. It's like, come on. But the women were great. It was a great show.
Yeah, it made me a little sad. Kind of miss the Men of Color think tank. But we put all our eggs in one basket.
We did.
And that's what ended up costing us our entire group.
Yeah.
We let that basket erode. We let other people take over our status as a united front.
Mm-hmm.
Then we broke up into little pieces, and eventually when you break up into little pieces, the wind can carry you off in your own different directions.
Yeah, it does.
And that's exactly what happened to the Men of Color think tank.
Oh, you acted like a bunch of little 5-year-olds. Well, if it's not going to be my way, I'm not playing, so I'll go away. It's like, oh, please. And everybody finally went away. But there's so many things that could have been accomplished by the Men of Color think tank. And it's not just the Men of Color think tank, too. There was another organization, Boys to Men. Like what? What happened to it? Where'd it go? Where's the magic place where all these things are just waiting to expand and become viable?
Right.
It's like, what's up with the men? Yeah, it's like, okay, I know men can really only do one thing, and that's play. But they're not even playing.
Nope.
They're not in the game. You women were out there. You women were having fun. You were playful. but you were serious. You
Mm-hmm.
you were networking. You had dialogues going amongst yourselves and amongst everybody sharing in the dialogue. It wasn't like there was a real leader. The leader of this here was the president, Celia Blue, who fabulous, fabulous young lady. You know, but everybody, all the other people that was there didn't make really any difference in that organization on what ideas you were bringing forward or how you would address a situation. They were all coming together. They were all planning to have something.
Very supportive of each other.
Oh yeah.
Did not mind, was not too prideful to stand up and applaud each other,
Yeah.
to give each other love, and that's something that was drastically missing with the men.
Oh yeah.
I give
They
the
put
women,
guns on you.
yep, 100% kudos for everything that they did and everything that they put together last night. It was a great night of fun, food, and family,
Yeah. it
because
was.
they treated each other just like family.
And even more than fair, they treated each other like you said as equals, and they treated each other on equal footing in everything. You had the younger millennials, and you had the older. I don't even know what you call them anymore.
D Generation X,
Yeah, way out there.
the Xers.
The Xers, yeah, and everybody was just all together, and you know each one of those generations have a different mindset when it comes to stuff,
Mhm.
and that's important for getting things done.
Yep. They had their guest speaker, Charlotte Golar Ritchie. She spoke for about a good 30 minutes.
Yeah,
She gave a speech that uplifted them. She gave a speech that inspired them.
Yeah.
And I learned some things about her personal speaking. Learned some of the little bit of skills and tactics that she used when she talked.
She was good at it.
Yep, she was good. She had her up points. So she moved the crowd. She kept the crowd engaged. She took questions afterwards. And she even sat down for an interview that we are going to put out shortly.
Yeah, I mean everything was going really nice, but then they had good food.
Yep.
They had they're women. No, I get beat up by them, but they had good food. What I'm talking about, good food. It wasn't like, okay, let's be cheap and bring out some crackers and cheese or something like that. So they had food out there,
Mhm.
and it fit the audience.
Yep.
They had fried chicken, of course. They had some nice fried chicken, but then they had, I don't even know what you call them folded over looking.
Oh, I call them patties. They're just
Yeah.
They usually sometimes they call them Jamaican patties for slang,
Okay.
but I forget what they're called.
Yeah, they had two different styles of them, one with cheese, one with chicken. Then they had plantains.
Yep.
Because this was the women of color. So
Yep.
they had all the women of different nationalities of color
Yep. Represented.
engaged in this here. So they had all different kinds of foods also represented. So it was very well thought out and very well and these women are going places.
Yep.
When one of your problems is how do we expand to take on a larger territory? You know, it's like what you're going places. You know,
Yep.
and I'm sure they can handle it.
Yeah.
But you men, shame on you.
We got to really get it together.
Yeah, men they ain't gonna get together. They ain't gonna get together. They're not going to get together. You got to step outside of themselves and put away that pridefulness that's not even warranted. They need to take that and put that away.
We are going to be talking a lot about the shortcomings of men today
yeah.
on the show.
A lot of shortcomings.
Our culture is going in a shift where it seems like the men who are up here and the women who are down here is starting to slowly go in reverse.
Oh yeah, it's already there.
The women are now empowered. They are now whistleblowing, and they are not letting men get away with the sick, disgusting things that they were doing. And these are powerful men who are being accused and brought down. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But today is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. and thank you for your service.
I never understood that thank you for your service thing, but you're welcome.
Well, I know the reason why they say thank you for their service is 100% real, because I don't want to go over there and be fighting and dodging bullets and bombs and stuff. So thank you for being the person who volunteered to go and do that so I didn't have to.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's why they say thank you for your service, because I don't want to serve.
I think that, I think that the words are sometimes heartfelt, but I think a lot of the words sometimes from some people is just words.
I think it's often heartfelt.
Yeah, maybe.
From a selfish standpoint, though, the selfish standpoint is I don't want to go over there. That's real. That's 100% real. You think I want to be in Fallujah or be in Afghanistan or Iraq or Iran, dodging bullets and bombs and people trying to blow things up and suicide bombers and dealing with all of that stuff? No, I want to be at home in my own bed.
Me either. My war was Vietnam.
See, yeah, I don't want to be dealing with that.
I like the mud.
Yeah, no, I don't like the mud.
Them red ants. Ooh, them red ants.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound like fun. My father's a veteran too. Shout out to him.
That's it.
I thank you for your service as well, Pops. So
I think people really, I'm just not saying that, for a platform or something like that, but the light blew out.
Looks like it blew up.
Yeah. But I think we should unplug it.
Yeah. Okay. So we just had our light just exploded. That's pretty dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, what happened was this thing went backwards.
Oh, the lamp went backwards.
The hood.
Oh, the hood went backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably melted. But
yeah, I think that what was I thinking? you lose.
We talking about veterans and going to war and fighting, and all of a sudden there's an explosion in the room.
Yeah, that'll bring you back.
Yeah.
That'll bring you back. I bet the veterans. There's a lot of veterans out there, and I think because of the number of veterans out there, that a lot of them get not thrown under the bus, but they get overlooked in a lot of places like that.
Look no further than the VA.
Yes, that's just where I was going, to the Veterans Administration, to the Veterans Hospitals and stuff. And I think it's because of the number of veterans out there.
Yeah.
And it's a federally run organization and stuff, so you got lots of regulations and things to deal with. And everybody, should be thinking that it's good to give your support and stuff to the veterans and everything. But I got one thing to say to the veterans and stuff. We're veterans. We're trained to take hardship. It's like, really, we can handle this stuff.
Yep, you can. But when you come back from that, you should be treated like a king.
You should be treated a little bit. Some of them should be treated a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then the I don't even know what you call it. PST.
Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Yeah,
PTSD.
Everybody doesn't get that.
Yeah.
Some people get it. Some people don't. I mean, there's a trauma. We're not the same people that we were in the military many years ago. No, the military. Even the military that I knew is not the same military that the people go through now.
Right.
It's not the same. It's been watered down a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's a little bit easier, a little bit more cautious, a little bit more understanding of somebody's capabilities. But what by doing that, what happened was you forgot the individual. People go into my thing, you go into these extra special kind of trainings and stuff like that. That was all ego boost. You as a kid, you were playing this. I can do this. Now it's been watered down till they stop you and check you and make sure that you're safe and all these things like that. That tape ruled when I was going through this stuff. You broke something, tape it up.
Yeah. A texter says you can tell that Troop was in the military because when the light bulb went, the light bulb exploded. he went right for it, and I just sat there scared. So, yep. And I replied, I would have done the same thing if it were my wife here.
Yeah.
Here and let her take care of it. Oh man, yeah. So happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. Well,
Yeah,
Veterans
happy
Day
veterans.
actually isn't until tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but the kids got out of school and they're considering it today for people to have off and things.
That's
So
good. You know, and people don't make that mistake. Go over to your grandfathers and fathers and everything, and try to solicit war stories out of them. You don't want to hear that stuff. They don't want to say that stuff either. It's not all that funny.
oh, my father will tell you every story he has.
Something like.
Sometimes we would just be in the trenches and we would be crawling in the mud towards the enemy, and we would put our helmets on our backside so they think that was our heads. So when they shoot the helmet, they'd only shoot us in our behind, and we know where the enemy is. He has stories like that for days, and he loves telling them.
He loves telling
He
them
loved
stories.
telling them stories. One time I had a wrench, and I was working on a Jeep, and 15 Viet Congs came at me with guns, and all I had was that wrench. And boy, I took every one of them out. He always has stories like that he likes to talk about. So
I don't have any of those stories.
no.
No.
Oh, you have one.
Most of my stories were done behind enemy lines and still classified.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So, you sure you don't want to say the one about the you escaping with your life?
Which one?
Well, I don't know if it's personal. I don't want to say it. So, but okay. So
I run a lot.
yeah, you ran in that story that you told me too. So, now we have to talk about the men.
Oh, the menses.
Louis C.K., a powerful comedian in Hollywood, accused of sexual misconduct in a bombshell report.
Mm-hmm.
Comedic actor Louis C.K. became the latest actor embroiled in a sex scandal on Thursday when the New York Times published a report with allegations from 5 women. So here's the thing. If I was accused by one person, it's easy to say that person's lying. When you start getting into the teens, or you start getting into multiple,
Yeah.
then it's a little hard to disagree with, or it's hard to say every one of them are lying.
I agree.
Especially when they all have similar stories and they don't know each other from their hand to their foot.
Yeah.
And they all have the same similar stories. He came to me and he asked me if he can masturbate in front of me.
What's up with the people out there? What's
It's-
wrong with that,
It's
man?
there was one woman accused of sexual misconduct, and that was Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey, yeah.
So, I mean, one woman, and she's powerful.
She powerful too?
Yep. Maybe it's not a man thing. Maybe it's a power thing.
It might be a power thing. But I don't understand. Personally, I don't understand what the need is to go out there and do this when there's so many relationships out there that are failing. It's like, why is the relationships you're in failing? You're not spending enough time with the person you chose to be your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I don't get it. Either we need to just stop getting married, and everybody just go on and I'll invest in Trojans.
Let's keep it real, Truth.
Really?
Often, and when you're in a marriage, especially when it gets into the double-digit years, you get men. Men are sexual beings, and we get tired of having sex with the same person, or that same person does not want to have sex anymore, as least as possible. And men still have that high sex drive. So
But that doesn't give them any rights to go.
it doesn't give them any right to, but it explains at least why some are dumb enough to do something like that. It's definitely not an excuse.
No, I hope not.
Nope, it's definitely not an excuse.
And the women too. You know, I'm not letting the women off this bus either. You know.
Okay.
You know, it's like if you're gonna have a relationship But don't base it on sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, base your relationship on compatibility. Base your relationship on skiing, or base your relationship on jumping out of airplanes, or collecting ants. You know, you can base you can base it on anything you want. But if you just have a relationship with somebody and it's just sex based and stuff, of course later on it's going to be the same old, you know, because you know all the moves. She knows all the moves. Oh, here he comes now. And
yeah.
He got this smile, it's kind of a little crooked smile like this, kind of wiggling his head and stuff like that. So I ain't got time for this, you know?
Well, maybe he doesn't have time because she's getting older now. She's putting on a little bit of kitchen weight.
Kitchen weight?
Yep. Does nothing but be in the kitchen cooking and cleaning. And sometimes he might be just tired of the same old tired battle axe.
Well, that's where you get the babysitter and go take a vacation with the woman. Take a weekend trip. You know, you don't have to go far. You know, just people who come from California to go to Cape Cod.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Massachusetts. We go to Cape Cod.
Yeah.
It's not that far. There's people who come from California to just go downtown in Boston and walk around or anything like that. I mean, it's not all that expensive.
Nope.
You know, and this way, you put a little magic back in there. You put, and even if you're not putting some magic, you add a little bit more to the story of life between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about, oh yeah, did you see that? You know, it's been a long time, and you can reflect back on your childhood days and everything, and then you regain that stuff. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in some cases, you know, I guess both of them have to let their imagination wander a little bit because we're so hero worshipped around here and stuff. So.
Texas says, I think the women, not all of them, think that they should be further on in their career because of what they did for whoever in Hollywood. And now they're mad that they're not, and they wait until the person makes it big and then makes a name for themselves to get a piece of the pie. So what she's saying is that women who do these favors, like for example, can I masturbate in front of you? Okay. And then they expect, okay, I'm going to be on a new show and I'll be my chance to start, and it never comes.
Of course
they
not.
feel like they've been used. Now they're coming out. I say to that, no, because this has been going on since the beginning of Tinseltown.
That's it.
It happened when Bill Cosby was younger and he was doing his show in the 80s. It happened before then, probably when Bill Cosby was on I Spy. He's just the one of the main ones I named because he's the most famous one that's gotten accused of things like this.
Oh yeah, they had another way of doing that kind of stuff too. They just had multiple marriages.
Yep.
Serial monogamy was going on. You marry this girl for a week, then get another one, and that's what they did. Both sexes.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it definitely has a lot to do with power.
Yep.
But it's not even real power, because what power is it when you know you're doing these things to somebody? You know, it's like there's power there, but it's not real power, because for me, all the woman got to do is say, my brother's 6'4", and he's coming over here because he don't like your show anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and he gonna hurt you.
So Louis C.K. was accused by Dana Min Goodman and Julia Wallov. They alleged that in 2002, Louis C.K. exposed himself to them after inviting them to hang out in his hotel room.
Well, what they going in his hotel? Well, we just talked about the power. So.
Yep, he proceeded to take off all his clothes and get completely naked and started masturbating, Goodman told the New York Times. 3 other women alleged separate acts of sexual misconduct. Now, due to these accusations, what I think is kind of, I don't know if it's unfair or not, but what's happening now in Hollywood is, if you are accused, it doesn't matter if they're guilty or not.
No.
If you get accused, you get kicked out of work.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, he is taken out of, a movie is coming out December 21st. Sometimes it takes them years to film a movie.
Yeah.
A movie's coming out next month, December 21st. And they found out about this rape allegation this month. And they're cutting every bit of his parts out of the movie and refilming it with another actor in it now. So he lost his job. He lost his job on his show, House of Cards. Bill Cosby, of course, lost his chance for NBC and started a new show. And he's not doing comedy shows anywhere in the country now. Now Louis C.K. is the next one who's been kicked out of HBO. He's had shows on HBO since the early 2000s, some 18 years. And now he has nothing. Louis C.K. has no work.
And he should have no work. He's a predator. But then again, from the way you describe that stuff, why didn't the girls just walk out?
Maybe they did.
Yeah. Well, how can you not walk until he gets completely naked and starts masturbating? It's like there's a lot of space in there. I don't know.
Well, okay.
I think
they come to his hotel room. He says, "I got to go in the room. I'll be right back."
Okay.
Comes out naked. They say, "What do you?" He says, "I want to masturbate in front of you. Is that okay?" Hell no, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And then they leave. Or they come to his place, have a drink, have another drink. They start drinking, they get a little buzzed, a little tipsy, they're having fun. I'll go to the room, I'll be back. Comes back naked, asks them, and then the same thing. They say no,
or
and now we gotta find a ride home. Or they say yeah, but you know what? In that climate, in the culture, before the whistleblower age started, because that's what I call this. I call this the whistleblower age. Before then, if you told on anyone, you were blackballed.
Yeah. And
so that's why these women never did come out and tell anybody, never did go to the police, never did make a stink about it, because they would have been blackballed from Hollywood. If this would have been even 5 years ago, and they accused Louis C.K., first off, the media wouldn't really cover it. They wouldn't care, or they would just say Louis C.K. denied it. And then Louis C.K. would tell all his friends, "I don't want these women. If you hire these women, you can never hire me." And the studios think Louis C.K. is more important because he's already a star.
Yeah.
So
I can see all that.
Yep. So
I can also see that the women who probably were groped and stuff like that by some of the guys not coming forward, because now you're filing a criminal suit.
Yep.
So in filing this criminal suit against somebody, there's procedures to go through the filing stuff, so it's really going to be hard pressed on the person to do much of anything while that case is still active.
Yep.
And then and I think the allegations now, they're just making the guy guilty now before he's even tried.
Yep.
So we're trying these cases by the public view.
I don't feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad for him at all either. I think that they should be stoned, to tell you the truth. I don't stone them.
Stone.
Stone. It's like, really? Just because you got money and stuff like that, and you got your little frail little ego and stuff, you're gonna grab ladies. And what kind of pleasure is it just out of grabbing somebody and stuff like that? A ha-ha moment for about 2 seconds, and these ones that are doing these things with kids, stone them, hit them with boards, hang them upside down, find several 10, 15 ways of killing them, and then, but not all the way. You want to make sure that you kill them at least every day for a month.
What I don't understand about this entire thing is, why couldn't Louis C.K. just watch porn? Or look at some magazines.
Or go buy you some girls.
Yes, or go buy yourself a woman. Why on earth would you lock women in a room and then masturbate in front of them?
I don't know. That's crazy.
A year later, Roseanne Barr told the Daily Beast she was aware of the stories about C.K.'s alleged behavior. It's Louis C.K. locking the door and masturbating in front of women, comics, and writers. I can't tell you, I've heard so many stories. These are the things in Hollywood that everybody know about. People for years known about Harvey Weinstein, but he was so powerful they refused to say anything. Louis C.K.'s been so powerful in Hollywood, who's going to say anything about it? Bill Cosby's been so powerful, who's going to speak up about it? But you know who the women that started to speak up about it are the women that knew they had no shot in Hollywood. Listen, my career's already over. I'm going to come out and say something.
Looks like that.
And it worked.
But it's such a bad message, because we got so many crazy people out here that think that they can do the same kind of behavior and stuff. And what's up with Mariah Carey? That girl been crazy since birth.
Mariah Carey also joins the list of the powerful people
Yeah.
accused of sexually harassing or sexually assaulting some of her male people who worked in her for her yard, who helped landscaping, and some of the people who were cooks, some of the people who were just her helpers. She is accused of sexually assaulting them.
She is. What's up with that? But I know Mariah Carey's nuts. She been nuts since she was born, and she been losing ground.
When you are a powerful person,
She powerful.
yeah, and she is powerful.
Yeah.
Your sense of morality and right and wrong
That's it.
changes, and when you're powerful, your sense of repercussions and what's going to happen if you do this changes. It doesn't stick with you anymore.
So she would be one of those. Well, she wouldn't even be classified as a nymphomaniac because she's just assaulting these people.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know. Maybe some people just need to feel as though that they're the lion or the lioness in the world, and that everybody's seeking them.
I guess so.
I don't know. It's like, because how can you even think that this type of behavior is not going to go unnoticed?
Right.
Because eventually.
Oh, because you're so powerful.
Yeah.
You're so powerful. Who's going to come up and say something? And who do you think the public's going to believe? Me, the most famous man in America, or you, some lonely worker that works on my yard? Oh, that worker who said that's probably just trying to get money out of that powerful person.
Yeah.
Oh, that worker who works for Mariah Carey is probably just trying to get money so he can sue her and get money, a cash grab.
Well, guys who get molested got it a little bit rougher because you get laughed at by your peers.
Yes.
Your peers say, "What?
Well,
Why don't you just jump on it and take it or something like that?" And it's like, "Well, I don't want it."
well, women get it bad too. When women come out and say anything, why didn't you say it when it happened? Oh, you're just a whore. You asked for it. Why were you dressed that way? Why were you in his hotel room at 3 a.m? You asked for it. So, I think it's worse for women.
It's totally worse for women.
Yeah,
They're
is.
not as strong as men when it comes physically, and the allegations that come with, just like you said, you're a whore, you're
Yep.
this, you're
Yep.
that. Why didn't you do this? They get that where guys just get laughed at. What? They say, "Well, I would have jumped on him." Send her over to me. It's like, please.
And then in another story, jury convicts Damon of rampage in downtown Worcester. Do you remember this? Where the man went to the building where we used to do our shows at and raped the woman and then left, and then he carjacked someone and then sexually assaulted them. Do you know that this fool, in his defense, had the nerve to say that the sex at the building was consensual? He said it was consensual and expected the jury to buy it.
But that's the defense that he was going to use, because you're innocent till you're proven guilty.
He's stupid. He should have just pled guilty and got the lighter sentence instead of taking it to trial and having the nerve to say that this woman that I raped, it was consensual. So it was so consensual that I carjacked someone and then jumped in the car and sexually assaulted her. But that was consensual. And then I robbed somebody.
Yeah, because I ran out of money, all these consensual.
Yes, this is the dumbest defenses I've heard in a long time.
And then the second dumbest, it might even be equal to that, is the daughter of the judge.
Oh yeah, I heard about it. I wasn't, for some reason it was hard for me to follow that story. I didn't really comprehend what was going on.
Because they don't want to say anything. He's a powerful judge in Worcester. I don't even know his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's not answering anything. And his daughter's not just the incident of offering sex and trying to tell the state police, my father's a judge and stuff.
Uh-huh.
She's also hooked on opioids and stuff like that. So they showed her picture. She looked kind of like the Crypt Keeper to me.
So what's the controversy? Was the controversy that the judge wanted her to get a light sentence, or?
No, the controversy is that they made the state police change his
story?
His story on what he wrote up. He wrote up his work thing and stuff like that.
Yep.
He wrote it up the way it happened, and they said you can't do that because of this powerful judge. Now a lady come forward, a lady state police trooper, and she's saying something about the writing up part or something
Right.
like that.
Has been changed.
Yeah, so this this is crazy. That's an abuse of power too.
Yes.
I mean, nothing about the judge. It's like I feel bad for the judge. Your daughter went the way of the left or the over here instead of walking straight and narrow.
Yep.
And was it your guilt is on you? Was it your fault that she went into this crime because you were so busy trying to make your career and your powerful name known and stuff that you didn't notice that your daughter was slipping away? And when she did something wrong because of something else, she's going to try to use your reputation and stuff to get herself out of trouble, that's just a street type of thing anyway. That's a street mentality. So I don't know, but the state police, stay on your guns, boy. I'm proud of you.
Yep.
Stay the course. Like this is what happened. She offered me sexual favors to let her go and tell me her father's a judge and stuff like this. Stay the course. Write it up.
Yep.
Write it up. You won't lose.
Did that officer get in trouble for changing his story?
Yeah, they want to fire him just about and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in some kind of trouble investigating. They can say, well, no, that didn't happen. This, like, come on, why would somebody even make up a story like that with a crypt keeper?
Right.
She you know how when people get addicted to opioids, they start to get that
Age.
sunken in
Yep.
face, and they look at. She's starting to look like that.
Right.
That's
too bad.
When we used to call that the crypt keeper. Remember the crypt keeper on Preacher Feature or something like that?
Yeah. Tales from the Crypt.
So yeah, we used to call that the crypt keeper.
Yep.
So you can see all the people out there on the streets who have real bad. They look just like her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's starting to get that look from what I saw on the thing. So give her help.
Yep. A text that says none of the women ever started a program to go against or combat this type of behavior. Those men took that women's money.
Those men took the woman's money.
They took their they took their money. The women took the men's money. I'm sorry.
They did.
Yep.
They did. There's no innocent or guilt in this whole thing. But there are some innocence and guilt. I could see like the two gymnasts.
Mm-hmm.
They were kids.
Right.
They were kids getting molested by somebody that they had to trust.
Yep.
So he formed a relationship with the kid, and they have to trust her.
Yep.
And he abuses the kids like this. Stone that rascal. Stone him with big rocks. And because he's a predator. He don't need to be out there among the civilized people. And they were kids. But if you're a full-grown person and you're trying to make your way into a career, and just like you've been saying, they know what it's like in Tinseltown.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is part of this, and I'm sure once they make their millions and stuff, they want a pot.
Right.
Yeah.
So usually when someone is drunk with power, and that power can be on any level. For example, I know someone who did not pay their car insurance. And they're like, why do I got to pay my car insurance? I could drive my car. I'm not getting in no accident. And they get drunk with that. And every time that car insurance bill comes, they would just throw it out and drive and save their money and drive around until it got canceled and the police pulled them over. That was their wake-up call. Once you get abuse of power like that, once you get filled with abuse of power, then that wake-up call hits you much harder because you start to slip and get even worse. So in FBI, it says the gymnast doctor who raped those girls, the gym doctor and the coach, they recorded the abuse on a GoPro. So now these fools are so dumb that they recorded the evidence used against them because they got off on watching videos of what they were doing to these girls.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, when you look at it, how could you be so dumb to record it? But it's because they were drunk with power. When you get drunk, the key word is drunk. When you're drunk, sometimes you do things you're not realizing that you're doing. And when you get drunk on power, like these men did, They were using a GoPro camera to record themselves sexually abusing these little girls.
Yeah.
The police didn't even have to get a case to catch them red-handed. All they had to do was look at their computers.
Yeah, it seems like all these people that's getting charged with these things.
Yep.
Except Bill Cosby, he's still denying, except for one. I guess he had one interlude with somebody.
Well, he had sex with her. That's
Yeah.
what he said, but he's saying it was consensual.
Yeah, they are drunk with power. They think that they're totally above the law,
And they can get away with anything.
Get away with anything.
And it gets worse as the more they get away with it, the more they push inches toward trying to get away with more and more and more. That's how 50 or so above more than 50 women can come out against Bill Cosby. It started with just one.
Yeah.
Then he said, "Hey, I could just give these Quaaludes or these pills, these medications to anybody, anytime."
Yeah.
And it came back to haunt him. Gave it to the wrong one.
I still don't get it. I still advocate for I kept hearing that commercial. I don't even know what it is, but I just heard the end where it said, "You knew I was a snake when you took me in." It's like,
yeah.
Because I guess he bit the woman and she's gonna die. It's like, why did you bite me? You knew I was a snake.
Right.
And it's like this is the whole thing. It's like you know, except for the little girls. I can't put them in that category. But the other ones like that, the rumors, the grapevine, just the whole atmosphere and everything, in advance of what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And even with Mike Tyson, which I thought Mike Tyson was wrongly accused, because I thought if you go to some guy's house, he calls you up to come to his house at 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff, and he opens the door in the underwear, don't go in. Don't go in.
But the rape is so intricate that even let's say she went up there with the intent to have oral sex with him, and she performed oral sex with him, but that wasn't enough for him. He still wanted regular sex, and she didn't want that. That's still rape.
Of course it's rape.
Right. So I mean, maybe she did go up there for something, and Mike wanted more.
Yeah, but I'm just talking even before. I'm talking about home training.
Okay.
Girl, if you're going up to some man's house at 2 o'clock in the morning,
men are dangerous. Watch out for men.
That's it. And they open the door in their underwear.
Yep.
Go away.
Right.
And if you know what the guy is like, you know Mike Tyson. He was a big child and stuff like that. Way drunk with pop. The worst thing ever happened to him was he got all that money.
Well, see.
So if you're going up to that, bring Bertha with you.
To me, that makes Bill Cosby even more disgusting.
He is disgusting.
Because if he's guilty, if he's guilty, this is what makes him more disgusting, because he was the most trusting, loving man on television. So when you think Bill Cosby, you think of the most caring. You don't think of Mike Tyson, where he's, this guy rips people's heads off for a living. You think of someone else who is more so like your dad. Or more so like the person you trust. You put your trust in these people. And when you put your trust in these people and they betray you, it shocks you and it hurts even more. You feel a lot worse about what you did. And a lot worse about happened. And you feel a lot more stupid about the changes and the decisions that you made. And these women that had to deal with Louis C.K., had to deal with Kevin Spacey, who's now kicked off of his show House of Cards and now taken out of a movie that's supposed to be coming out December 21st. These men are now starting to pay for their actions, and kudos to them. Take a break. Be back on Truth It in the AM. Are you a manufacturer?